Jeff, one of the CIA caseworkers who worked with a Russian scientist who they paid to take plans for the key component of a nuclear bomb and deliver them to the Iranian government. And Jeffery Sterling, for whatever personal reasons, he's also an African-American who had accusations of racism against the CIA and other grievances. He took that story to the Senate Intelligence Committee, which apparently did nothing with it. Somebody, one or more people, is a civic duty, not a crime. And so we've organized this petition to the Department of Justice at dropthecharges.org that we are about to deliver, and people should sign it, because he's a whistleblower. And this is the first whistleblower taken to court under the Espionage Act in civilian court since Dan Ellsberg. And the room there is empty. The media is absent. The public doesn't know about it. It's remarkable.
Indeed. And, you know, before he allegedly went to Ryzen, Sterling tried to take the story of Operation Merlin to Congress, as you mentioned. I mean, to whistleblow about something, obviously. Talk about what the operation was and what he was trying to expose here.
Well, the claim by the CIA at great length in court, and I've sat through much of it, is that they would give slightly flawed blueprints and drawings and plans for the fire set, a key part of a nuclear bomb, to the Iranian government, and this would somehow slow down Iran's probably non-existent nuclear weapons program. And there are claims, James Risen thinks in his book, that this was done repeatedly by multiple parties during the Cold War. With what success or failure, we don't know. But it's clearly advantageous to the weapons proliferators and profiteers. And it clearly looks to me like ultimately the main goal was to be able to finger Iran for having nuclear weapons plans. And the idea that it was going to slow Iran down for some period of months is just ludicrous. When they actually talk in the cables that were read in the trial about wanting to give Iran the product fully assembled, but they didn't think it would be credible that their Russian scientist would have that, which of course wouldn't have slowed down the supposed program at all. So I think this was yet another attempt to plant evidence of a weapons program on a foreign country to be able to point to it, which is why the CIA is going to great lengths. The prosecution has a 2-week presentation underway, and it's all defending the CIA. Very little of it is about prosecuting Jeffery Sterling.
So would you say that the CIA is using Sterling to try to preserve their whole narrative regarding Iran's nuclear program?
Yeah, they're very defensive, and it's quite odd because even a best-selling book has, of course, been read by a tiny fraction of the public. 100 prospective jurors, not a single one of them had heard of the book or read it. A CIA witness intimately involved in the case has only read the one relevant chapter, and people just don't read books. This hasn't been in the media. Everyone says Jeffrey who, and this guy is a hero. If any whistleblower is a hero, and nobody seems to know about it.
David, we have about a minute left, but how do you think this is going to affect the whole negotiations going on right now between the U.S. and Iran?
Well, of course, Congress is busily trying to sabotage those with new sanctions and so forth. But if Iran knows about what is happening in that courtroom, it can only hurt. But of course, Iran already is well aware and has those plans on the shelf, should it ever in some future decade care to use them. I mean, nuclear apocalypse is forever. And the CIA officers are talking in trial as if this would be a success if it slowed down this program by a period of months, when they had no knowledge the program existed, and later the National Intelligence Estimate, of course, found that it did not.
Unbelievable story. It just gets crazier and crazier. Thank you so much, David Swanson, for covering it. Really appreciate you coming on.